Welcome to Gaming Plant. It's me, Joey, and today we're talking about the 10 best things about South of Midnight. Developed by Compulsion Games, creators of We Happy Few and Contrast, this game is published by Xbox Studios and was released on April 3rd, 2025. It's been released on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox Series X and S. Number 1, visuals. South of Midnight looks absolutely incredible. The art style feels like a cross between a Pixar film and one of the Spider-Verse movies, with that dropped frame, stop-motion inspired animation that gives everything a unique, handcrafted look. If someone walked in during a cutscene, I could easily see them thinking this was a movie, and that fidelity stays during the gameplay, where you get to see just how much detail these artists put into this game. The art direction is absolutely on point. Just take Hazel's room, for example. Every object feels like it was placed with intention. It tells a story without a single word, suggesting who she is and what her interests are. The character models in this game overall look so dang good. I get super excited every time a new character, oddity, or enemy gets introduced, just to see what Compulsion Games has cooked up. And Hazel herself, her character model is stunning. With her ripped up jeans, dope cutoff 90s inspired dolphin shirt, to her sick looking braids and the sharp angles with well defined planes that give structure and strength to her facial features. All of these aspects creating this unique, standout style that gives this game its personality. Everything looks handcrafted with care and attention to detail. South of Midnight even starts with a Tim Burton-style stop-motion introduction video that looks like a cross between Coraline and Robot Chicken. There is so much fantastic art in this game. It is clear that this team was passionate about their vision. It all adds up to a visual experience that's not just beautiful, it's unforgettable. Number 2, sound design. The sound design in this game is next level. The world sounds so alive and well realized. Birds chirp, bugs buzz, water rushes by. The world literally sings. Every motion you make sounds so cool. There are these small bits of vocals that play when the player character jumps that add just a little bit more of that secret sauce that makes this game so good. During gameplay, when you're walking around or in combat, dynamic music will play, setting the tone, drawing you deeper into the world that Hazel exists in. This all makes for a stunning trip through the story of South of Midnight. All of this, and on top, is the peak voice acting this game has. The fun fact that I learned while doing some research for this video is that Ahmed Best, Jar Jar Binks himself, is not only one of the voice actors, but is also the voice director for South of Midnight. Along with all of this fantastic vocal talent that this game showcases, Hazel's voice actor, Adrian Ray, deserves a special shout out for bringing the character to life. Her skills genuinely made me care about Hazel and her motivations, having me pull for her through this strange, tragic, and inspiring journey she's on. These details further bring this world to life.
That was a cute pig.
Number 3, animations. Everything about Hazel Flood's movement in South of Midnight just looks cool. Whether she's walking, running, double jumping, wall running, or gliding through the air, every animation is fluid and full of character. The way she moves feels real, and yes, I know they use motion capture, as do a lot of modern games, but this just hits differently. There is so much style and character to the movement that it just really stood out to me. Even though I know she's an animated character, there's just something about the personality that each action she takes breathes more and more in life into Hazel Flood as a real character. That really makes me care about her. And when she's in combat, she's flipping around, pulling off these slick finishing moves. I don't know, it just all looks absolutely gorgeous and punchy. There are these moments that give me Infamous vibes, especially in the way she uses her powers and moves through the world. Not to mention that Infamous 2 is also set in a southern-inspired location. It made me wish for an even larger version of this video game with an expanded scope. Don't get me wrong, like what is here is fantastic and I love how it plays out. But I'd love to see her powers evolve even further and get a glimpse of what else Compulsion Games could do with this foundation. But what they've created here truly feels special, and that leads perfectly into number 4. Number 4, Hazel Flood. Hazel Flood, the protagonist herself, is a total badass. She's super cool, looks awesome, she seems incredibly interesting, and is a joy to play as through the story. She's a track star in her late teens, and she takes crap from nobody. She's always down for a challenge or a fight. She never seems to hesitate. She just jumps right into the thick of it and always seems to come out on top. She's super funny, lovable, and relatable. She's such a great representation of the strong women that I see in my friends and my family. The way that the voice actor Adrian Ray portrays her and brings this character to life is a mastercraft in voice acting. Through this journey, you will hear her commentary on all kinds of things she encounters, allowing the player to learn more of who she is and what her thoughts are. This is not like you would see in games like Horizon, where Aloy will tell you how to solve the puzzle or instruct you where to go. This feels more like when I'm home alone, making comments to myself and jokes that I think are funny when no one else is around. It's unique, and I really enjoy how they added this into the game to make it feel more alive.
Rich people's houses.
Through Hazel's journey in South of Midnight, you will see the growth of her understanding of the world she lives in and the struggles that surround and permeate her life and the town she calls home. She will challenge her perception of those she loves and those she has tried to write out of her life. Through this journey, Hazel allows herself to be curious and open to a world of nuance, where those around her and herself can be flawed and accepted for who they are and not for who we think they should be. It's refreshing to see a character develop and change their views to accept the world as the beautiful mess that it is. I hope that we have the opportunity to see more of this character in the future. I think Hazel will be one to be remembered out of the vast amount of characters that we have been introduced to and will continue to be introduced to this year in gaming. Number 5, story and world building. South of Midnight masterfully delivers its narrative through environmental storytelling, scattered notes, and cinematic cutscenes. The level of detail put into crafting this world is exceptional. Each location is richly immersive and emotionally resonant, whether it's wide rushing rivers or powerful storms illustrating the unpredictability of southern weather. Every element adds layers to the tapestry that is South of Midnight. The environments vividly depict a region burdened by economic hardship. Locations like the rundown company town stood out most prominently, encapsulating the despair and history of economic struggle in a tangible, memorable way. In the notes scattered throughout this town, you learn that in this town, the workers were paid in company scripts instead of cash, making the payments worthless outside of the town. So when the workers inevitably encountered a situation where they needed external services, they couldn't pay for them, isolating and ultimately damning the residents. You will also come across abandoned homes, sawmills, churches, and even entire communities. These locations silently narrate stories of loss and hardship, compelling the player to piece together the past through subtle visual clues and thoughtfully placed details. The diversity of settings, ranging from lush, wildlife-filled forests and mountainous terrain to mucky bayous and rural hog farms, significantly enrich the storytelling, creating a believable and captivating Southern Gothic atmosphere wrapped in a coating of Southern folklore. Additionally, discovering these notes throughout the environment provided rewarding insights, deepening the emotional connection to the characters and the world they inhabit. The meticulous attention to detail, particularly environmental storytelling, sets South of Midnight apart from its contemporaries. Number 6, creatures and enemies. The Haints, the main enemies you will battle in this game, are horrific, dark, and twisted-looking creatures, like a skeleton that's been corrupted by a symbiote. The game describes these as people who are damaged by sorrow and trauma, corrupting the essence of who they are. This effect is known as stigma, the warping of the grand tapestry, the fabric of the universe that connects all things. The result is an enraged, violent ghost where even the way they move is unsettling. Some float and swipe at you like Freddy Krueger with their long, dagger-like fingers. These are called Ravengers. Others are massive, using their weight and size to overpower you, smashing and flailing around, forcing you to be on the defensive. There's a wide variety of these. I think there's 7 in total, and they all look super great, unique, and equally as dreadful and unusual. My favorite personally is the Ravenger. I just think they look super cool. Additionally, you'll run into mythical creatures, as you've probably seen in the trailers, like Two-Toed Tom, an alligator the size of a football field. This dude is a beast. You will see him in the distance stalking his prey just below the surface of the swamp water. He's so large that vegetation has started protruding from his back, resembling a small island. However, my favorite of them all is the smooth-talking narrator of this storybook-like game and Hazel's guide through this magical world, the catfish.
You up here?
Where?
My salvation.
A talking fish? Nope. Ain't no way.
Oh, Weaver like you must have seen stranger things than me.
He's such an awesome looking character, and the voice acting is fantastic. He, like Two-Toed Tom, is unusually large. He's also incredibly wise to the trappings of this whimsical world Hazel has stumbled into. Number 7, combat. Oddly enough, one of the best aspects of combat in South of Midnight is how distinctly it segments itself from exploration. While this might sound counterintuitive, the clear separation allows you to immerse yourself deeply in exploration without the constant worry of unexpected combat encounters. Combat sections occur within defined areas with a limited number of enemies, reminiscent of classic PlayStation 2 and Xbox 360 era games, delivering a pleasant sense of nostalgia. Combat mechanics themselves offer some enjoyable features. Hazel's weave abilities, for example, provide push and pull mechanics, invoking the satisfying feeling of wielding powers like a Southern-themed Jedi. Another engaging mechanic is controlling a small companion named Crouton, who can take control of enemies, turning them against one another. Once this ability is unlocked, combat noticeably improves, becoming significantly more dynamic and enjoyable. Despite these highlights, combat overall feels more serviceable than outstanding, but does have a good foundation that could be iterated on in future installments in this game world. All essential elements are present: smooth, fast-paced action and visually appealing animations, but there's still something intangible missing that prevents it from reaching excellence. It's important to mention that early combat encounters can feel slow and somewhat clunky due to Hazel's initially limited skill set. However, as more abilities become available, the experience greatly improves, especially during fluid sequences where multiple enemies are engaged simultaneously, helping you to achieve a satisfying flow state where you are using all of your abilities to gain the upper hand and stack them so that you can maximize your damage output. Boss battles, while visually striking and memorable as spectacles, unfortunately lack significant mechanical depth. These encounters remain entertaining for their visual creativity and scale, though additional layers of complexity would have enhanced their overall impact and made them more enjoyable. As noted earlier regarding animations, combat consistently looks impressive and feels good with its limited scope. Combat in South of Midnight offers amusing moments and strong foundational systems, providing greater potential for future developments by Compulsion Games. Number 8, exploration. Exploration in South of Midnight is deeply rewarding, driven by the discovery of hidden notes and collectibles scattered throughout the game world. Finding these hidden gems significantly deepened my appreciation of the narrative, making exploration an essential and enjoyable part of the gameplay experience. The notes were particularly impressive, serving dual purpose. Not only did they provide compelling backstories for key characters, enhancing their depth and relatability, but they also fleshed out the rich historical context and lore of the game's world. Additionally, Hazel dynamically provides commentary as you explore, enriching the experience further and deepening your connection to the narrative environment. I especially enjoyed exploring interior locations, which slows you down to a walk, allowing you to fully immerse yourself into the environment and interact with various items such as pictures, paintings, and notes. These interactions frequently triggered additional insightful commentary from Hazel, providing a richer, more intimate understanding of the world and its characters. While I didn't often feel compelled to revisit previous areas, the experience of uncovering the story of each new location kept me constantly curious and excited to see what the next area would be and what else I would encounter. I would have liked to see more variety in the exploration, some additional collectibles, and more NPCs to talk to. However, what Compulsion Games provided was very enjoyable. And overall, the exploration in South of Midnight beautifully complements the narrative, turning each discovered secret into a meaningful addition to the story. Number 9, lore and weaving. In South of Midnight, you play as a weaver, someone chosen by the land and granted the power to influence and alter the world around them. Weavers possess a unique connection to the grand tapestry, the metaphysical fabric that binds all living things. Only weavers can perceive the grand tapestry and, with their abilities, repair the tears that disrupt the balance of the world. These disruptions are manifested as stigma, a corrupting force that infects the environment and the people within it. Visually, stigma is represented by dark root-like tendrils covered in glowing red abscesses that pulse with energy. It can also take the form of corrupted enemies called haints, as well as dangerous environmental hazards like exploding mushrooms or the visually stunning brambles. The brambles in particular stand out. Massive, thorny growths that twist through the world like a nightmarish spiked Seussian creation. Another form of stigma appears as knots, tangled masses around tears in the tapestry. When Hazel uses her weaving ability to unravel these knots, the surrounding area transforms. The stigma dissipates, flowers bloom, and harmony returns to the land. It's a powerful metaphor for healing and restoration that this game echoes in each layer of its narrative. There's a surprising depth to the lore around weaving and the Grand Tapestry. Compulsion Games have created a world that feels both mythical and grounded, using these elements not just as a gameplay mechanic, but as narrative devices. I found myself genuinely intrigued by how these systems tied into the broader story. They added layers of meaning and made exploring and interacting with the world even more engaging. South of Midnight uses its weaving lore to tell a rich, symbolic story about healing, restoration, and the interconnectedness of life. It's one of the most original aspects of this game and is one of the things that makes this game so interesting. Number 10, The Starting Storm. South of Midnight starts in Hazel's room as she packs necessities to prepare for the looming storm as it grows in power outside. Hazel is alone while waiting for her mother to arrive so that they can both leave to head to the church for shelter with some of the other locals. From the inside of Hazel's home, rain pelts the windows as flashes of lightning ignite the sky outside. After Hazel's mother gets home, she asks Hazel to check on a couple of the neighbors to ensure that they are safe and have a plan to weather out the storm. Once you step outside, you'll see fog coating the neighborhood, trees jostled by the wind, and the sound of rhythmic claps of thunder like the heartbeat of the storm as lightning strikes in the distance. And this is just the beginning of the fantastic introduction to the southern hurricane that's about to turn Hazel's life upside down, expertly foreshadowing the sweeping transformation that she is about to endure. If you take a moment to survey Hazel's home, you'll notice that it sits parallel to a raging river. The home sits atop pilings to prevent any damage that may be caused by a flood. However, the storm is causing the river to rise rapidly, and these piles are not stable enough to withstand the forces. While peering through the windows of one of the neighbors' homes, Hazel sees her home tumble into the river with her mother still inside. With this, Hazel's journey truly begins. This inciting incident propels Hazel into a frantic sprint to try and catch up to her home as it careens downstream, all while the storm is building in strength. This leads Hazel into downtown Prospero, the fictional location where the story takes place. Debris swirls in the air, billboards are ripped from the ground and thrown into the distance. The storm feels intense. Power lines are toppled as the town is ripped to pieces. And Hazel does her best to navigate these hazards, narrowly dodging the rubble that is being generated by the storm. It's a spectacle, and is such a great introduction to the world of South of Midnight.
What weeby thing?
Thanks for watching. And now, I want to hear from you. What are some of your favorite moments from South of Midnight? Would you be interested in seeing a sequel to this game? And if so, what would you like to see? Let's chat in the comments. Until next time, thank you for watching Gaming Plan.
I just found this thing. Look, my house got swept away in the storm with my mama in it, and I'm just trying to find my mama.